Hello, this is James Wilday. I'm the writer and director of No Heading, and the film we're about to watch is about a year's old now, so it's going to be interesting to look back on this. This was the last day of filming, I do believe. With this whole sequence, I made sure to frame out Leo Quinn's head the whole time. It was very important that we don't just open with the shot of the invisible head. A, because the special effects aren't brilliant and it would be a bit laughable, and B, it's nice to kind of create this kind of mystery before we go into it. But we get a little glimpse at the name tag there, Leo Quinn, which I tried to come up with quite a comic book kind of superhero kind of name for him, because he is really the kind of iconic character of this film. Now if you see, there's actually there's a shadow on JJ there. That's Rudy holding up a massive piece of cardboard to try and shield the green mask from the sun. And that was something we found when I was doing test screenings of the mask. I found that it worked better when there was less harsh light because it was too overexposed on the green fabric. There was a good old Dutch angle shot right there. I'm happy with the overall look of this film. I mean, it's rough around the edges in certain senses, but I like that. And I did try the hardest I could with the special effects with the limited knowledge I had about it. And this was the first day of filming. Amelie did really well here because I was originally going to get someone else to play the scientist. Which, if you notice, there's a reference to one of my favourite films, Memento. If you look at her name tag, which you'll see in a second, it says Dr. Shelby, which anyone who's seen Memento would know that's a reference to that. So that was quite fun to put in. But sadly, they're just known as scientists in the script and in the credits. We had to move this bench that they're sitting on, and the Flask Laboratory sign that's there. That's actually covering up a kind of, I think it was may have been a no smoking sign. Oh, you just about can't see the name tag, but trust me, it says Dr. Shelby. And another little detail, if you notice, the scientist's clearance level that it says on the name tag is 4, and all the senior scientists are 10. So that's meant to show they're kind of. This is a kind of in terms of the hierarchy of the scientists of Flask Laboratories. The senior scientists are much higher. Yeah, this was a fun scene to write as well. Like that little pointless joke there. I remember coming up with that one night. I was like, yeah, that's what we need to do. And the whole paper bag was just a way to get around the VFX of it, and it ended up having a much interesting looking of a character. And yeah, this is the first time that JJ even put on the bag. I'm sure he got very fond of that bag. That's actually me in this shot, pretending to be Kay's side of their jacket. And then we get into the chase scene. This was a lot of fun to shoot and edit, and the score, I think, by my brother, I'm so lucky, works so well. And I'm really happy we were very lucky because the lighting here looks really nice, but I mean, I don't light my films anyway. I just, because I don't know how to light them, we just use whatever light we have, and we had these nice, guess they're fluorescent lights. But no, we were lucky here. This shot took a long time to do, mainly because there was other people coming down the corridor and we kind of had to stop it. It's quite a long take. That's an automatic door, so it's a bit hard to open by hand. And Kay did really well with all the running and all the choreography of the chase scene. And as low budget as this film is, I think this chase scene kind of delivers on what a chase scene should be. I mean, you know, you've got essentially. I had to make a map of all the different routes that the characters are going on throughout the building. And there was my little cameo right there. That box, the prop box that's lit up there, the scanning box. Oh, that's the moment we kind of jam the door for real. That box has a magnet on, so we could just stick it onto the metal beams of the building there. Oh, there's the Flask Laboratories logo. Basically, with that prop, we just tried to put it anywhere we could to try and make it. Look, there it is again. We tried to make it seem like there's just Flask Laboratories branding all around the building. That shot that you just saw with me on the floor, that was a very satisfying one to get. With it was essentially faked shallow depth of field. I don't know how I managed to do it. I got my camcorder and I got a magnifying glass and I put it on the end, and it made a blurry background essentially. And there was just a shot there which there was one perfect frame of Leo Quinn running, and he's in focus but the background's all blurred and it looked so nice, and I used it for a lot, like most of the marketing for the film, which was a lot of fun to do, to kind of create the style of... There was actually a deleted shot here of Rudy looking up, seeing the feet and then smiling, smirking, but we just couldn't do it. It was both too cringy and too pointless, and it slowed the pace of the overall film. Now the library looks very green here. Trust me, it's not. This is all colour grading, which I did, or the limited knowledge of colour grading. I don't even know what I'm doing, quite frankly, but I had a lot of fun making it. But I like to give each kind of location its own kind of colour palette. So this was just a kind of, I guess you'd say, more Matrix-y tone, even though, of course, a lot of people think that the Matrix looks very green, but that's because of its transfer to DVD and Blu-ray. But that's a whole other video. The actual original print of Matrix is not very green at all. But anyway, back on this film. So yeah, I'm doing pretty much all the shots in this film, unless I'm in the shot, which is usually Rudy. I think JJ may have done one shot. The shot you saw earlier when I was looking out the window, that was done by JJ on the last days. It was very hot. This summer was very hot, and over the 5 days we were shooting, those were very hot days indeed. But I like to do these kind of bits of, essentially, you can kind of get... Oh! So, if you see that moment, that Kay turn, that we have the POV of Kay turning their head, Leo Quinn, you can see them turn their head and look directly at us. So that's a nice little detail if you want to rewind that and have a look at that. But that was very intentional, because we needed to subtly show the audience that Leo Quinn knows they're there, and then he's escaped off around the back of the library. I have a good POV shot coming up here. I really like the feeling of continuous action, and especially with these. I mean, this moment isn't even an action scene, but it's still action is happening, and it's all meant to be flowing. So now I come in, cleaned up my nosebleed, of course. No rush, no rush, Dr. Toffin. Go and clean your face. Yeah, so I'm Dr. Toffin, Rudy's Dr. Taylor, and this is Dr. Osman. And the way I came up with those names I won't reveal, but it's so simple that it would kind of undermine any of the thought of creativity in the names, but no, it's fairly creative. It's mainly about the initials. I come up with the initials often first for characters, or should I say side characters like the scientists. There was a bit of speed ramping there, because we needed it. I needed it to flow a bit better. This was quite a long take to do on the tripod. Oh, yeah, you can see my arm there is stretched up because it's holding the piece of cardboard, which is putting the shade on the mask. And then we essentially jump cut, transition right into Mr. Flasker's scene. Honestly, Shay was brilliant in this film, and he was great to work with. He's a lot of fun, and just he really, like, this character. He really liked the kind of world that we were trying to create, and just the character in general. He delivered it with such, I don't know, just such great confidence. It was brilliant. And JJ's great in the scene as well. And Rudy trying not to smirk at JJ's green head. Yeah. You see the scratches along the bottom of the wall there. Makes me think about, maybe Flask Laboratories, they've had other fights in here before. Maybe this is their fighting room. This is their interrogation room. This is their execution room. Which, when you look at it like that, it's, yeah. Leo Quinn's in a difficult situation. But there's some fabric on the back of the wall there. Oh, and then technically we get introduced to another character, Dr. Foley. Essentially the scientists. We don't know what Leo Quinn did to them, but they got their name tag. But there's fabric over some information there that Rudy cleverly covered up for me. Now, there's a sound design here. This is the feedback of my electric guitar, and then it breaks there.
What did you see?
And I tried to put in some whooshes as well. You need some whooshes when it's an action film. And Shay's wearing a green tie, just because me and Rudy thought, oh, they gave me a selection of ties, and I was like, oh, let's do the green one, just to kind of reference the fact that we're using a green mask for green screen. Luckily, it wasn't that much like green screen that it actually got taken out when I was trying to do the CGI with JJ, because that would have been a big fail.
Goddamn face.
Would have been very counterintuitive to try and do something with the costume design and then make it affect the post-production process. And this was a really fun to edit, actually. I really like doing a dialogue scene where you're cutting to another shot and it's overlapping from the other dialogue that's being said. And these eyes, not these ones, but the ones coming up are actually CGI, because he still had the green mask on. Alright, these ones here, yeah. You can kind of notice, but they're just blacked out because they had the green mask underneath. Essentially, just putting the bag back on was an excuse for me, if I'm going to be honest. And I want to be honest with people. It's not, you know, there's a degree of this film that is, it's definitely story. I tried to put a lot of story into it, but it's also, I really wanted to get into the kind of how I can, I don't know, make it kind of, I do like to think of it kind of a bit comic booky in some ways. And now this sound design here, this is using my electric guitar as well. It's just bashing the strings with pencils, raising the tension on the fretboard, and then we go into the fight scene. And the gunshots actually overlap over the bars of the letterbox, which I quite like. It's not fourth wall breaking, but it kind of comes into that whole thing of like, it's like a panel of a comic book, and sometimes in those panels, other things will overlap over the panels. So I quite like that, and I tried to, we did the rehearsals, of course, and I saw how the actors fake punching really improved over that. Bit of speed ramping there to quicken it up, and then I get my second punch in the face. I got my nose bleeding again. 2 times in this film. The only person who gets a nosebleed, and you get it twice. And one line, I got one line. Shay was really bashing his head here. I tried to get him not to do it, but he just kept on doing it. Really did get into it, go into the physicality of it. And there's meant to be a gun there. Of course you can't see it because it's invisible. It's very invisible, in fact, but it's hinted by the fact that Leo Quinn bashes his head with it. JJ's actually wearing some special glasses underneath, which have essentially black cups on them, which black out his eyes. Because if we were just to put, say, fabric over the mask, you'd see the fabric there, but with these cups, it would essentially create such depth and darkness that you just think it was empty space. And it made the bag a bit more comfortable for him, I think. Oh, got a bit scratched there. Of course, this was the last day, or second to last. No, this was definitely the last day. On the case show, that's just ink. And I think it was, I usually use icing dye, quite sugary stuff. That's what we use for eye block as well. And I really wanted this emotional beat in here, just to create like a tiny bit, because I feel like it's too much in action films where, you know, they're not a killer, but then they're just killing a bunch of people and not feeling anything. Like, I feel like that's, but really, you know, you take a life like you've just done here, Leo Quinn, who clearly isn't a killer, or is he? Who knows? He's going to feel some kind of emotion, but that's quickly altered by the problem with Mr. Flask right here, which he doesn't decide to kill. And the whole thing is, Mr. Flask is now thinking, oh wow, I know what this guy is capable of. And now Leo Quinn has Dr. Taylor's pass to get out of the building. And there's that prop again with the light inside it. And you see the scratches in the background there, it works quite well. There's a lot with filmmaking that you just get lucky at points. Those those radios are made from mount board and EVA foam, and there's actually a little guitar knob on it as well. I did try and engrave a Florence Laboratories logo in it as well. I'm noticing a continuity error in my own film, but we'll just pretend to ignore that. There was actually a sound effect in this film, not a sound effect, but a sound of Leo Quinn going through the door, which I actually later used for iBlock because I didn't have a sound for the doors opening near the end. This was a lot of fun to shoot, this last bit. There's some of my favourite shots in the film here, one of which is this one, the shadow one, and this one I really love doing. That actually became the coming soon poster. Then we got the title animation. And the graphic design for this film I really enjoyed doing. Not just in the props, but the marketing. And that's the film. That's a lot of work went into it, and I appreciate all these cast members. I mean, JJ, he did brilliantly. You know, it's always fun with the lead actor of films. You always just go, well done. Especially when you're doing this physically. Like, this is a very physical role. And I've got to say thank you so much to Rudy, of course. They were on set pretty much. No, they were on set every day. I'm pretty sure. They were there for my support of myself as well. Just let me know that it's all okay, because there was points where I was like, what am I doing? Is this right? Do I know how to make a film? The truth is, I don't know how to make a film. I just know how to make my own film. But yeah, a lot of fun to make this film, and a lot of fun watching it again. It's, I really do. There's some of these films which I really do enjoy rewatching and revisiting, and this was one which was a big step up for me in terms of my directing capabilities, because I'd never directed this many people before. And it was funny designing this logo here. There was a lot of back and forth between me and the cast. We had a group chat, and I'd often send different variations of graphic design and be like, do you think this is good? What do you think about this? And they'd always give me feedback. I had that less for iBlock just because I wanted everything to be a bit more of a surprise. But No Heading was, yeah, a very, very collaborative, very fun experience. If you haven't already, be sure to watch No Heading. And of course, my most recent film, iBlock, is also available on YouTube here. Thanks a lot. Bye.